Back in the early 70s, this was all woods here, part of the Everglades. There were only a few farms around here where they grew, they raised horses, chickens, and all kinds of stuff. But most of it belonged to the Everglades. There was only the the cement factory, which is up about a mile from here. But all this was woods.
This house was built in 1988, and before it was built, this area was really a wooded area. It belonged to the Everglades, and there was nothing around here.
This area has changed compared to when I was younger. There was more construction, like there's less natural resources now compared to then. Like there's more houses, more parks being built, and like the more houses that are being built is causing more people to move to this area, so there's more the population has grown.
Where we used to live, I guess it was a bad neighborhood. There used to be like townhouses and stuff, and my dad and my mom didn't let us go outside.
This is the best neighborhood that I've ever lived in, and I've moved a lot, and I'm never gonna move from here.
Like when this neighborhood was built, all the houses had like their own specific design, but then as time progressed and more people started moving in, there was a new neighborhood that was built around this area, which dominated the land. And the new design for those houses, they were a bit more modern compared to ours, but at the same time, it kind of like has like a pattern to the way they're built.
The house around us, a lot of the neighbors have fixed the neighborhood.
I live one block down, but my house was built in the late 90s, while this neighborhood was built in the early 1980s. So the structure of our house are completely different. For example, these don't have pillars or columns, but mine do, which results in the roofs being a lot higher. But my part of the neighborhood has smaller backyards, and these usually have a large backyard, and mine have driveways, but these just have a longer floor.
Before I moved in here, I had a townhouse which I really loved because it had cathedral ceilings, and it was all varnished and wooded, and it just simply was a beautiful place. I wanted to live there, I guess, forever, but I had to end up moving.
In the old house, there wasn't a really big, we didn't have a big backyard, and it was all concrete, and we had like dogs in the back. It was all dirty and smelly.
When I moved into this house, I wanted a house with big rooms. I checked out a whole bunch of houses around the neighborhood, and I noticed that a lot of them had very small rooms, and I actually got this one because of the size of the rooms. And I know that everybody in my house wants to decorate the room a different way, depending on their personality.
The houses, they represent more or less the culture from where we come from. You know, they got the barrel tile. You know, pretty much the same. That's where I come from.
A lot of people like to decorate their houses according to where they came from, what they're used to, but I don't think it has anything to do with it. I think it just has to do with taste. You decorate your house with whatever your taste is. I mean, you could have a house that one room is different than the other room, and you could also have stuff from other countries, and doesn't necessarily have to be from the country you're from. I don't think that has anything to do with it.
In our houses, they have an orange terracotta-like color, and along with the fact that we have the old colonial style rails, that they have like a very original design to them, and they kind of remind me of like the ones that you would see back in Cuba, and just these are very original compared to the modern ones that you see now.
I try to keep my house painted every so many years to keep the house looking nice. It's a lot of work.
We're trying to keep the neighborhood pretty nice, so the value of the houses won't go down.
All the houses in our neighborhood, they're designed the same way, but at the same time they're also original, just like in their own specific way. But if you look at them, they're all pretty much the same type of house.
Our house is like 10 to 12 feet away from my neighbor's house, and it's funny because if my neighbor has a fight if they have a fight inside the house or a discussion, if they yell hard and loud enough, we can hear from my house, which is very, very private. It's not very private at all.
Like you look outside, you look outside a window in the front, and all you see are trees, cars, and the people in front of you. you look at the back, and all you see is the fence, the crap that you have, and then like probably like the roof of the house and back, or like the top of the windows or something. In the side, all you see is the stuff that you have in the side, and then the house of the neighbor's house. And then like there isn't any views. You don't enjoy anything. All it is just houses.
They were pretty much the same. Now they build all around us. Before it was all woods and just open field.
The closest piece of nature that our neighborhood actually has is probably a small preserved area that is protected by the environment, but probably later on in the future will be cut down, for financial reasons, and they'll probably build buildings on it.
When we moved in here, it was our neighborhood, and then from beyond the neighborhood, it was just woods. And now, like, they extended the expressway. They had made Dolphin Mall, and like now it's just like all residential area. It's pretty much us, and then it's woods, a little bit of woods, and then it's Mikosuki. So pretty much, eventually they're most likely gonna cut down all those woods and make houses there. So it's just gonna connect us to Mikosuki.
Everything has changed. I mean, there's so many. Everything is built up. Pretty much running everything away. Even the Indians have a big casino out there that people have to get to now.
Before, nobody used to live here. There was only a few farms with horses and stuff, like stables. I don't know, the Indians live farther down west.
My house faces west, actually facing the Mikosuki. We're pretty close to the Mikosuki, actually.
Well, they didn't have the casino over here so close, and they have their villages further away. Even the Seminoles are further inland. But it's brought everybody a lot closer.
This part here was called Cocaine Alley because they used to fight cock, and we ride horses. We used to go hunting around here. It was fun back then, but now everything is all developed. There's no more everglades, no more animals, no more horses. You always see a chicken every once in a while. That's about it.
We used to go out shooting and stuff out here. They used to have we used to go camping. I used to have fishing out here. I mean, they still do in some areas, but not as much as they had. They've taken over a lot of the land, even right here, right down the street here. I mean, you can see everything. There wasn't much anything past the turnpike.
Right by this corner, there's the forest, and that's practically how the whole neighborhood used to be. But now, since people have moved in, they began to plant, different sorts of trees just that aren't native to the Everglades or to Florida.
Some of the vegetation is local, and some are imported. Like the palm trees, the palmetto trees, they're all the palms. They're all local from here.
Since people began to move in, they had to cut them down, and they practically replanted replanted the trees and planted like flowers or bushes that don't belong to this kind of environment.
One of the problems I've been having was with the white flies. They've killed a lot of my ficus and my pepper plants, a lot of my shrubs around the house, which I have to spray a lot, which is not good, and you have to keep changing sprays because they get immune to it.
Actually, we had a lot of trees in my backyard, and a lot of them have been dying. I guess it's because of some kind of insects that are eating the trees. We have no idea, but I took advantage of the situation when the trees started dying, because then we had an excuse to pull them out.
Yeah, well, I actually had palms in front of my house. They started turning yellow and died just within a week. And from what I understand, it's a beetle or something, a bug or something that gets in there. It takes them a while, but you just come out one day, they start turning brown, and they're dead.
And then just from one day to the other, it just started getting this disease, and it just withered and died pretty much. And so my dad had to cut it down because it was gonna get dangerous.
I hear they bite the tree. Once they bite the tree, it injects a venom into the tree, and the tree's dead.
I cut them down, some of the plants, because they got disease. I got cutting down 3 coconut trees and 2 palm trees. The bushes, I tore them out too, because they got disease that dried up.
All I can do is keep spraying, and but that's not good for the environment either. So. It's not good for the animals, the dogs, anything like that.
Okay, there's less animals now. I see less animals, but I see more rats. And they're getting bigger.
Used to see a lot more foxes and rabbits. I mean, you still see out in here. You probably see a few rabbits now and then, but I mean, they used to be everywhere, very prevalent. But they, you don't see near them as much as anymore. About the only time you see them is in the middle of the road. When they've been run over, possums and raccoons, everything.
If anything, you see like 1 or 2 cats. You see like those ugly black birds, the crows, or like those brown, nasty looking ones.
See a lot of pythons. My friend killed one in his yard, and he got another one coming down from crossing the road, which he called the animal services, and they came out and took care of him. But after he killed them, but they're becoming a big problem. I hear they're killing chickens and dogs, small dogs and cats, and even small kids. So
over here, there's nothing. All it is houses, and then like once in a while, you see like those neighborhoods with a little patch of like woodsy area, which there isn't really anything in it. There's like pythons and stuff, because people like drop their pythons in there, and there's possums and snakes.
The local animals are probably in the woods somewhere.
The fact that there's more people, it's caused more pollution in general.
Everything people have dumped over the years, but that's all it's in all our neighborhood. So.
And like the lake over here, like there's more littering in it, and which causes like less animals, less fishes and frogs.
The bottom is full of sludge and pollution.
Because we have a lot of lakes around us, man-made lakes.
Well, those are like retention ponds. The builders, they have to put that in for drainage because this is such a low area, and they have to build the houses up. If not, the people are complaining their houses are getting flooded. And we live in South Florida, which is pretty much it's a low area. There's a lot of lead swamp. Swamp is Florida. I mean, I'd say a good half of Florida is swamp, but they're trying to make it livable.
Even though water levels are high here in Miami, in our neighborhood, there's actually a lot of drought, and it's like hot.
Miami is not a very seasonal changing city. You know, it's not like up north that the trees, the color of the leaves change. Here we have actually no change. Either in the summer we get hot. Sometimes even the trees kind of like get really hot too, and they might even dry out if we don't get any rain.
About a few months ago, there was a mass fire that has burned down many trees in our environment just a few blocks down. And now if you pass by, it's just stumps of trees and dry wooded areas. There's practically no life in that place.
It makes us worried because since it looks so close, you think that a fire so close could come to your neighborhood and destroy everything that you actually worked for.